Before metallic cartridges were introduced, revolvers operated using loose black powder, a lead bullet, and a percussion cap. This cap and ball system formed the technological foundation that helped Colt's manufacturing company become a globally recognized firearms manufacturer. Below is a detailed explanation of each representative model. The Colt Paterson was the first commercially produced revolver manufactured by Colt's manufacturing company, marking a major turning point in the history of personal firearms. Introduced in 1836, the revolver featured a 5-shot cylinder and used a percussion cap ignition system, allowing the shooter to fire multiple consecutive rounds without reloading after each shot, an innovation that was revolutionary compared to the single-shot pistols of the time. Despite its groundbreaking design, the Paterson had several limitations. The user had to manually cock the hammer to rotate the cylinder, and the reloading process was relatively complex. Each chamber required loose black powder to be poured in, a lead ball to be seated, and a separate percussion cap to be attached at the rear. The original design also lacked a built-in loading lever, making field reloading less convenient and more time-consuming. Nevertheless, the Colt Paterson proved its effectiveness when it was used by the Texas Rangers during conflicts in the American West. Its real-world success demonstrated the practical value of multi-shot revolvers and laid the foundation for the development of later Colt models, ultimately opening a new era for modern handguns. The Colt Walker is widely regarded as one of the most powerful handguns ever produced in the 19th century. It was introduced in 1847 through a collaboration between Samuel Colt and Captain Samuel Walker of the Texas Rangers. Walker wanted a revolver with exceptional firepower, strong enough to replace a rifle at close range during mounted combat. The revolver was chambered in .44 caliber and featured a 6-shot cylinder capable of holding a significantly larger powder charge than earlier models. As a result, the Colt Walker delivered remarkable stopping power for its time, capable of engaging targets at distances far beyond those of typical handguns. However, this power came at a cost. The Walker weighed nearly 2 kilograms, about 4.5 pounds, and had an overall length that made it quite large and cumbersome to carry. Early production models also experienced technical issues, including the risk of excessive pressure if overloaded with too much powder. Despite these drawbacks, the Colt Walker became an icon of the American West. It not only helped restore Colt's reputation after a period of financial failure, but also laid the groundwork for later, more refined revolvers such as the Dragoon series. The Colt Dragoon was developed as an improved version of the earlier Colt Walker. After it became clear that the Walker was excessively heavy and had certain technical issues related to excessive powder pressure, Colt's manufacturing company refined the design to create a revolver that offered a better balance between power and practicality. The Dragoon retained the .44 caliber chambering and 6-shot cylinder, but its frame was shortened and more effectively reinforced. Its weight was significantly reduced compared to the Walker, making it easier for mounted troops, known as dragoons, to carry during long campaigns. The loading mechanism was also improved to enhance safety and durability under harsh battlefield conditions. The Colt Dragoon was produced in 3 main variations, the first, second, and third models, each featuring minor changes to components such as the hammer, loading lever, and cylinder design. During the period of westward expansion in the United States, the Dragoon became one of the most trusted sidearms in use. It marked an important stage in the evolution of Colt's revolver design and laid the foundation for later successful models such as the 1851 Navy and the 1860 Army. The Colt 1851 Navy was one of the most successful and iconic revolvers of the 19th century, helping establish Colt's manufacturing company as a symbol of the American Old West. Introduced in 1850 and officially produced beginning in 1851, this revolver used the percussion cap system, with loose black powder and a lead ball loaded separately into each chamber of the cylinder. Chambered in .36 caliber with a 6-shot cylinder, the 1851 Navy offered what was widely considered an ideal balance between power and controllability. Compared to larger and heavier .44 caliber models such as the Dragoon, the 1851 Navy was lighter, better balanced, and more accurate at medium range. For these reasons, it became popular among the Army, the Navy, and civilian users alike. The name, Navy, originated from the fact that many early shipments were supplied to the United States Navy. Although the revolver was widely used across various military and civilian groups, one of its distinctive features was the engraved naval battle scene on the cylinder, giving it a unique aesthetic identity. Produced in large numbers and even copied in Europe, the Colt 1851 Navy stands as a classic example of practicality, reliability, and refined design in the pre-Civil War era. The Colt 1860 Army is considered one of the most important revolvers in United States history and is often regarded as the pinnacle of percussion revolver development produced by Colt's manufacturing company before metallic cartridges became widespread. Introduced just prior to the American Civil War, it quickly became the standard sidearm of the Union Army. Chambered in .44 caliber with a 6-shot cylinder, the Colt 1860 Army delivered significantly greater firepower than the .36 caliber 1851 Navy. What made it particularly remarkable, however, was its intelligent design. Despite using a powerful .44 caliber round, it featured a slimmer and more streamlined frame than the earlier Dragoon models. This reduced overall weight, improved balance, and made it easier for soldiers to carry during extended campaigns. Like other percussion revolvers of the era, it operated using loose black powder, a lead ball, and a percussion cap loaded into each chamber individually. Although the reloading process was slow, the ability to fire 6 consecutive shots provided a decisive advantage in close combat at the time. With more than 200,000 units produced, the Colt 1860 Army became not only a symbol of the American Civil War but also the final refinement of the percussion revolver before metallic cartridge technology fully replaced it. The Colt 1861 Navy was an improved and refined version of the earlier 1851 Navy. Introduced by Colt's manufacturing company just before and during the American Civil War. The goal of the 1861 model was to preserve the balance and accuracy of the .36 caliber platform while modernizing the frame design and mechanical features in line with the more advanced 1860 Army series. The revolver featured a 6-shot cylinder chambered in .36 caliber and operated using loose black powder and percussion caps. Like other cap and ball revolvers of the period, however, its frame was redesigned with a rounded and more streamlined profile, based on the 1860 Army frame rather than the square-backed frame of the 1851 Navy. This gave the revolver a smoother appearance and improved structural durability. During the American Civil War, the Colt 1861 Navy was carried by both officers and enlisted soldiers, particularly in units that required a lighter sidearm with good handling and controllability during rapid fire. Although it was produced in smaller numbers than the 1860 Army, the 1861 Navy is widely regarded as one of the most elegant and well-balanced percussion revolvers ever made, representing one of the final refinements of the cap and ball era before metallic cartridges fully took over. The Colt 1862 Police was one of the last compact percussion revolvers produced by Colt's manufacturing company before metallic cartridge technology became widespread. Introduced in the early 1860s, it was designed to meet the needs of officers, law enforcement personnel, and civilians who required a lightweight, easily carried sidearm that remained reliable. The Colt 1862 Police was typically chambered in .36 caliber and featured either a 5 or 6-shot cylinder, depending on the variant. A distinctive aspect of this model was its combination of a compact, pocket-style frame with a relatively larger cylinder, creating a practical balance between size and firepower. Compared to larger .44 caliber military revolvers such as the 1860 Army, the 1862 Police was significantly lighter and more suitable for everyday carry. Mechanically, it continued to operate using loose black powder and percussion caps loaded into each individual chamber. Although this system made reloading slow, the ability to fire multiple consecutive shots was still a considerable tactical advantage at the time. While not as famous as the 1851 Navy or the 1860 Army, the Colt 1862 Police played an important transitional role. marking the final refinement of small-frame percussion revolvers before Colt moved fully into the modern metallic cartridge era.